Hi, and welcome to day 24 of National Diabetes Awareness Month. Every single day this month, I'm doing a video about a various topic in diabetes. Today's topic is alcohol. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate the support. I do have this very cute coffee that I need to show off right here. Look how cute this little mug is. I'm in a hotel, so I'm making myself feel fancy. Anyways, as always, with anything that I talk about on YouTube, anywhere, I'm not a doctor, this is just my experience. And I especially want to make that point talking about alcohol because I know it is something that can be really dangerous with type 1 diabetes, and it's best to speak with your healthcare professional about what is best for you. I'm not really a huge drinker anymore. I am 28 years old, but I have had times in my life, college, where I definitely drank a lot. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about my experiences with drinking. I'm going to start off with a story. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about what endos have advised me to do around drinking, as well as what I've heard other endos say to people around drinking. And then I'm going to follow it up with just some tips that I have to keep myself safe, and both diabetes-wise and just health-wise while I'm drinking. So the story that I'm going to tell is actually a very funny one because it was the first day that I was in college. So the first night that I was at my dorm when I started college. And the next day I had an endocrinologist appointment. I just moved up to Boston. I had set this endo appointment so that I could get an endocrinologist up there and not have to worry about traveling back down to my parents' place to see that endo when I needed an appointment. And I went out the night before, obviously, first night in college, meeting all these new people, super excited. I didn't drink a lot in high school, so this was the first time that I had really drank to the point of being drunk. And maybe I've done that, once or twice in high school, but definitely not the norm. And I remember I showed up to that endocrinologist appointment so hungover, and she was, talking to me, getting to know me because I had never seen her before. And I disclosed to her very early on. I was like, look, I'm so sorry. Yesterday was my first night of college. I'm a little hungover today. And what I loved is that we actually spent most of that first appointment that I had with her talking about how to safely drink with type 1 diabetes. And this was one of the first times that I really felt like the diabetes education I was getting from an endo was actually tailored to what I needed to know versus what I should be doing or anything like that. Because definitely the philosophy is, and I remember her saying this to me, is obviously not drinking is better, but if you're going to drink, I want to make sure that you're safe. So what I learned from this endocrinologist is essentially that the biggest risk with drinking and diabetes comes a few hours after the drinks. Basically what's happening is that your liver is preoccupied with getting the alcohol out of your system, that it's not able to help regulate your blood sugars like it normally does. Obviously, as type 1 diabetics, we don't produce insulin, but we do produce other hormones, glucagon, that can help raise our blood sugar. And so that process right there isn't working as it normally does. This, in turn, can cause some really scary low blood sugars the morning after a heavy drinking night. So learning this was key to me being able to drink safely in college. And what that translated to me, and what we talked about, is always having really fast acting carbs like a juice that I could have within reach all the time in the morning after I was drinking. And also playing with doing different long-lasting, I was on pens then, long-lasting insulin doses the night before drinking because I was giving my shots the night before, just so that I didn't have as much basal insulin to bring me down. Now, I was really lucky to have this experience with my endo so early on because it really taught me what I needed to do, again, to be safe. I have heard from other people talking about their experiences with their endocrinologists, that their endocrinologists are like, do not drink if you have diabetes. I'm not going to argue with their medical profession. If that's what they truly believe, awesome, great. But I've also heard from other endocrinologists, I've had several endocrinologists since that one at college who have said, yeah, just be sure you know how to manage it when you're drinking. And I much prefer that approach because you're not always going to stop people from doing things like that, and it's best to know how to navigate them. So here's my tips for drinking with type 1 diabetes, obviously based on my own experience. Number one is that I always try to eat something either before or while I'm drinking. This is just a standard rule even if you don't have type 1, but it's important that I'm not drinking on an empty stomach. Number two, if I have more than 3 drinks, it is very likely that I'm going to see that decrease in my blood glucose in the morning. And this is if I'm drinking more at night. So if I have more than 3 drinks, or even if I have that 1 to 3, but especially if I have that 3, I am making sure that I have juice or just like really quick acting sugar right beside my bed when I go to sleep. And that just ensures that I have something really easy to grab. If I'm not feeling my best in the morning, I don't have to like figure out where something is, but I put it right on my bedside just in case I need it. And as always, I have my Dexcom alarms on, and sometimes I set those Dexcom alarms just a little bit higher the night that I'm drinking, just so that I'm able to catch something before it becomes really low. The Omnipod 5 has really helped with drinking and morning blood sugars. However, when I was on a more traditional pump, sometimes I would decrease my basal the night that I was drinking, or I would lower my long-lasting insulin night dose. Another thing that has helped, I don't do this anymore since I'm not in college and I don't like go out drinking and then go out for a slice of pizza, but having a snack before I go to bed when I am drinking also has helped me keep these blood sugars stable overnight after a night of drinking. On to bolusing for drinks. So typically I like a dry red or white wine or a dry sparkling wine. Those are kind of my go-to options. If you were with me, that's probably what you would see me drinking. However, from time to time, I do order a sugary cocktail. For those first drinks that I talked about, the dry red, white wines, I will not do a bolus. Again, typically I like to be eating something with it, so I will bolus for whatever I'm eating. But for what I'm drinking on the side, if it's like something with minimal carbs, I'm not going to include a bolus. However, if I'm having like a margarita or like a sugary cocktail, I'm absolutely going to give a bolus for that. Also knowing that oftentimes when I am drinking, I'm usually doing something. I'm at a concert or I'm, out with friends at a bar. So typically when I am drinking, I'm also moving around a lot. Obviously there are times I'm just drinking and sitting on the couch at home with my husband, but that's not very typical unless we're like celebrating something. So when I am drinking and I know that I'm moving around, I tend to be less aggressive with any bolus that I do, even for the food that I'm eating, just knowing that I'm probably going to drop low if I'm like at a bar and I'm dancing with my friends, or I'm at a concert and I'm like, moving my body. So I definitely take that into effect too, what I'm doing around this drinking in order to help navigate the bolus and prevent lows. And then just some general drinking tips. I'm definitely sure to drink a lot of water when I'm drinking, the day leading up to it, the day after it, just to keep myself hydrated and feeling my best. Obviously, alcohol does not make me feel my best, so that's another topic in itself. But I think another huge thing is just having people around me that know that I have type 1 diabetes and that I trust that would support me if there was ever a situation where I needed something. There's absolutely been times when I'm like at a bar and I'm like, oh my God, my blood sugar is dropping. And my husband will be like, let me get you a lemonade from the bar. So just having people there that know what's going on, that can support you, and in the morning. So if I'm like going over to a friend's house to stay the night, be like, hey, do you have juice? I know I'm gonna need juice in the morning. Just being able to communicate and have that like support squad with you is really important. Just to recap, if I have those 1 to 3 drinks, I typically don't have to do much in the morning. My blood sugar doesn't see a huge drop, but more than 3, I definitely see that drop in blood sugar, and just try to pay a little bit more attention and make sure maybe reduce my basal or do something like that. But if I have that 1 to 3, I'm just keeping something beside my bed just in case it does strike. So those are the tips that I follow when I am drinking alcohol. Again, I don't feel my best when I drink alcohol or after, so I'm not somebody who drinks every night or even every week or even every month, probably lately with school and stuff. But I've definitely learned along the way of how to navigate so that I can do it safely if I choose to do so. And as always, be sure to talk with your endo or healthcare professional to help you come up with a plan that works for you. If your endocrinologist is someone who says you shouldn't be drinking at all, you are absolutely free to follow that or find another endocrinologist who can help you navigate drinking if that's something that you want to do. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you are choosing to drink, especially this holiday season, please be sure to stay safe and let me know if you have any questions. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.